January the 3rd, 2019. As you're looking at the State Department's travel advisory site, it's called travel.state.gov if you want to check it out. Today they issued a travel advisory for China. It's a level 2. It says exercise increased caution, and your scales are over here. Blue is exercise normal precaution. A 2 is where we're looking at. 3, reconsider travel. 4 is, if you look at Afghanistan, you'll see a 4. But it's updated. Now we know we have trade tensions, but it may also have to do with the stock market collapsing around Apple and some of the other Chinese tech that was possibly stolen. We don't know. It could be a chess move sent down from Trump to the State Department. In other words, this not only puts sanctions on China, but when you do this, you slow down travel, which they do have a tourist trade in some areas. It's a very poor country as far as human rights. And Trump has put the pressure on them, and you can see it through some of the stock markets. But this travel advisory is saying exercise increased caution in China due to arbitrary enforcement of local laws, as well as special restrictions on dual U.S.-Chinese nationals. Chinese authorities have asserted broad authority to prohibit U.S. citizens from leaving China by using exit bans, sometimes keeping U.S. citizens in China for years. China uses exit bans coercively. They use it to negotiate hostage situations. Keep that in mind. They do it to compel U.S. citizens to participate in Chinese government investigations, to lure individuals back to China from abroad, and to aid Chinese authorities in resolving disputes in favor of Chinese parties. Again, they use it coercively. In most cases, it's saying U.S. citizens only become aware of the exit ban, guys, pay attention, when they attempt to depart China. And there's no method to find out how long the ban may continue. U.S. citizens under exit bans have been harassed and threatened. Guys, they have massive prisons now for everyone that does not go along with their plans. If you could imagine what Hillary would be doing with the FEMA camps, it's about 1,000,000 times worse than that going on now. And if you think about this, and for the Patriots, we have all sacrificed a lot to support Make America Great Again and our president. And now we see him in a battle between China because of unfair trade, billions a year, trillions in some cases, in trade deficit. Well, at Christmas, many of us purchased, probably somewhere down the line as a gift, a product from China. You know it? What am I saying? I'm saying that we need to get behind our president and not buy a damn thing from China. Not as long as they don't agree to becoming a fair trade partner. Now, the civil rights issues is something that we can't deal with from here. The people there will have to do it. Here's the problem. Same way in Europe. Same way in the UK. You let them take your guns first. And I'm afraid that would be the last straw in this nation. But in most cases, again, the citizens only become aware when you try to leave. It says, if you decide to travel to China, here at this level 2, enter China on your U.S. passport with a valid China visa and keep it with you. If you are arrested or detained, ask police or prison officials to notify the U.S. Embassy or the nearest consulate immediately. If you plan to enter North Korea, read the North Korea travel advisories. It goes on from there. And if you look at the right of this, guys, and just in case someone happens to be in the middle of this, there's your U.S. Embassy in Beijing address, the telephone numbers, the emergency numbers, the email, and their website, U.S. Embassy Beijing. Keep that in mind. Now, I know probably less than 0.01% of you guys are listening to this would be going to China. But why now? That's the reason for this video. Now, anyone that has 401k or other retirement or benefits or whatever you have that's tied up in hedge funds, this should make you immediately get with your hedge fund manager or your money manager and invest your money in some survival food and supplies and prep. The reason I'm saying that, guys, many of you on the video I did a few nights ago about 666 and the mark of the beast, many comments said, well, BP, you're ignoring the fact that we won't be able to buy, sell, trade, or barter if we don't take the mark. And I'm thinking to myself, after 40 years of study, what a stupid statement. How can someone just say, well, we're going to have to take the mark? After watching the whole video saying your soul's going straight to hell, your name is taken out of the book of life. But BP, you missed that part. Guys, it doesn't say. It says you will not be able to sell, barter, trade. It doesn't say anything about you will not be able to prep once you know this stuff is coming upon you. Think about it. Thousands of you guys have been preparing. I know because you go to our website and you're taking care of real business like water filters and food. That's smart. I will never regret one day of my life for having the support of my Patriot Supply on our channel, because not only have you kept us alive during a couple different hacks and getting our channels taken down, you've taken care of your family, guys. Let's look at CNBC. Dow's down 660.2 or 2.83%. S&P 62. NASDAQ, guys. Tech stocks 202 down. What are they saying? Apple suffers its biggest single-day loss in 6 years after cutting revenue guidance. Looking on the list, stay away from the banking stocks. But guys, when you're dealing with the American idiot investors, and you have 401ks and your retirement, things like that, they've invested in hedge funds, and they are losing billions per day. We've seen the stock market doing this, but it has killed trillions of dollars and wiped out the savings of millions of Americans simply from the Fed rate hike the other day and the stock market like this. But Apple was way too high, and if you go and you study about the stock market today, you'll see that some of the reasons are saying, and an iPhone, it cost them $10 to make, and I've never owned one. I wouldn't pay $600-700 for a $10 phone. Only people that don't understand the system would do that, simply to keep up with your neighbor. Really, I'm just in that mood tonight, guys, but it's time to get real. You know what's going on with our government. Today, the Democrats announced that they're going to push impeachment. They're not going to be able to get it through the Senate, but they're going to spend all of their time doing it. Pelosi's already hired a deep state lawyer to lead the impeachment process. Her first day back on the job. But we're watching this, guys. And one other thing I want to point out. In the South, we are getting not flash flood warnings. We are now getting flood warnings from Louisiana into South Mississippi. That's going to move throughout this area. I'm on one of the new links on our website. Now, it's not all showing up in the picture in the top right, but it's VentureSky. Look under the National Weather Service on the left on both of our websites, bpheadlinenews.com and bpearthwatch.com. What you're looking at, because of the changes of our planet, the weakened shields, and the increased energy that's penetrating into our oceans, into our land surface masses, into the volcanoes. I drew these areas over this map. You're looking at the moisture that has been moving across the South. Guys, we are saturated. Rivers are flooded. And we're going to have a couple of days in my area in central Mississippi of better weather. But what you're looking at, because of the heating of the oceans, because our shields are weak, is the El Nino factor. Now, I'll do a full video on this tomorrow. I'll get more information on it. But I think it needs to be closely watched. What we've seen, because we're not going into global warming, we're going into climate chaos because of grand solar minimum. It happens. No amount of money that Al Gore threatens you with or California threatens you with is going to change that. But they would love to make trillions and destroy the economy of nations in the pretense of this carbon tax helping someone. It's all about destroying the nations, bringing in the New World Order, and in Albert Pike's letter, it's called the Luciferian Doctrine. If you don't think that's true, look at the way the Democrats are acting. But I'll do an update on the weather, guys, as this continues. But again, we're seeing unprecedented weather, both heat extremes, cold, rain, snow, winds, hurricanes in the last 2 years. So expect the unexpected, guys. Heads up. Be safe.